Hi there. Good morning. This is a short video for Wesley and Lakmish. It's just really to summarize some of the material that we discussed on Monday. Forgive me, I have a bit of a cold, but I'm sure you'll still be able to hear me. So really this video should come to you with attachments of the evidence-based portfolio. Right, so what I put together here is really a summary of what I was saying. So if you like, what we're trying to create is this sort of five level structure where at each level sort of shows your growth of apprenticeship. So we want to be able to answer or go through the entire booklet at all five levels. So I'm just going to go through the booklet now at level 1. And level 1, if you like, is the basic level. You want to show some basic evidence at level 1. So let's see what that is. Let me just take you to the booklet very quickly and show you what's going on there. So here is the booklet. Here's the booklet. And we talked about the certain skills that they wanted from you. So they wanted analysis, they wanted communication, they wanted leadership, they wanted planning and prioritization, producing quality and accurate information, teamwork and collabo, using systems and processes, and those are the skills. And then they wanted for behavior, adaptability, adding value, ethics and integrity, and proactivity with professional skepticism. So I'm just going to go through. I've put together some examples. Given that you're both in audit, internal audit, I've put some ideas together. So use this if you like to develop what we're trying to do here. So at level 1, looking first of all at this question of analysis. The first task is for you to produce some useful information from raw data. So you told me that you were in schools right now, maybe sort of speaking to managers about carrying out certain pre-employment checks. Right. So I've thought here a simple, good, basic level 1 example, if you like, is that you're able to use Excel or your work software to put your sample of teachers and employees together for whom you're collecting these pre-employment checks. And I've written here, I'm sure your list will also have what exactly you'd be looking for to ensure all the right criteria have been satisfied. So you'll have your list, if you like, A, B, C, D, and E, or whatever, and they must satisfy certain criteria that you must be happy with. You're ticking off and thinking, yeah, passed, that sort of thing. And this in itself is an example of where you have been able to produce useful information from raw data. So again, if you can extract this sample list from your population, this is fine. This is a good level 1 analysis. Again, like I said, the whole idea is that we start off at level 1, and when I send you the next set, or when I see you again once after this video, we discuss on what a level 2 collection of data would look like. You might have some ideas. I have some ideas already as to what a level 2 sort of collection of data would look like. And so the whole idea again is to see if we can get nice to show growth in this very first question. So Wesley talked about being on the anti-fraud team, and again, another simple way here would be to just is there any way you could document being given the name of the person being investigated and putting some sort of skeleton file on the person before the investigation begins? So you're just given some data, and then you go into some database and pull out do a query or something, and pull out some information on that individual or something. That's another example of producing useful information from raw data. So again, the next thing is on evaluating data. So now that you have this information, what are we going to do with that information? So again, if we go back to talking about the sample lists on the pre-employment checks, we can find out if all the teachers have passed the pre-employment checks. Now, this means that the school does have a rigorous system in place for admitting new teachers. And so in a way you have evaluated the data. Now, if there were some issues, you might, want to, it says you might need to investigate how the teachers have been admitted, or whatever. Really, the key point is that you have sort of looked at the data, and at this very first simple level, you've brought some meaning. That's the issue here. You've brought some meaning to the data, and that's what we're really talking about when we talk about evaluation. And then the third thing you need to take off on analysis is adding value to your organization. So at this level 1, the fact that you finished the job within the time frame of what you were asked to do, or the fact that the client was spoken to, received the report in time, or if there's some sort of survey on a particular job that you've done, the key point is that you have, when we talk about value, it could be financial value, it could be non-financial, but the key point is that the client is happy, and we just need some kind of evidence for that. Okay, great. So just taking you again back, what that log sheet that you will have would look like. You can see here those 3 questions that I've picked have come from, one second. Oh, sorry, I've come too far. Here we are. Here were the 3 questions: producing raw, useful information from raw data, evaluating data, and adding value. So you can see what we're really trying to do is kind of go through each of them, and I'm just trying to give you some examples to help you on your way to starting to populate this at a nice, simple level 1 scenario. After all, you've just started the program, so we can't expect too much of you just yet. The next thing is communication, the next one. This is the second skill. At this level, a simple back and forth email. It says you need to be able to show an appreciation of both sides of an argument. A simple back and forth email with a colleague on a procedure where both of you might have had some sort of difference in opinion or just different ideas. Or a recording of a team meeting at work, and generally team meetings always lead to people having differences in opinion or whatever it is. But you're just sort of showing an awareness of other people's ideas by sort of saying, yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, we could do it that way. What about this? We'll take that into consideration. Just sort of documenting your appreciation of understanding both sides of an argument. And so really, the next thing is demonstrating a good reporting writing skills. I mean, at level 1, really it's just you showing that you have put on a piece of paper some kind of structure to a certain event. So for example, it doesn't have to be a massive report, just starting off. Even if you just had to complete a task, you just need to have something that looks like this. Who was it to? Even if it's to your manager, no problem, your line manager, or to just a colleague from yourself, what the subject was, what was the task, what were the results, and any sort of recommendations, even if it's some sort of conclusion about what will happen at the next stage. So the third one is being able to use available resources to present formally to a group. So I'm not expecting you to carry out any major presentations right now, but some recorded team meeting where you take at least one point on the agenda, or some PowerPoint slides you've created that can be shared with everyone at work, just via the email portal, is fine. Now, the third point is leadership. Now, this one, students tend to think that you need to sort of be leading a massive team. No. At level 1, simply suggesting something or a willingness to carry out a task before you're asked is leadership. Or finding something that you did before your manager asked you to do, or just arriving to work earlier than everyone to set up the room and computers, just before a meeting is leadership. So what we need is just evidence of that act, of you showing that sort of initiative, if you like. Commitment to the job. At level 1, turning up to work on time and attending meetings you're invited to. That's enough for commitment. And finally, at level 1, just evidence that you have some sort of CP log, D-log template in place, and a journal. Just evidence of this is enough to show that you are starting to think about how you would evaluate and improve your own performance. And then I put here effectively, this is the next one. Planning, this is the fourth one. Planning and prioritization. Effectively planning and prioritizing your time to complete tasks. So at level 1, put together a little to-do list for the day or for the week or whatever. and just have a list of the range of tasks that you have to carry out. And the next one says you ought to be able to coordinate tasks with input required from others. Well, in your to-do list, you should have a task where you'll need to ask someone to help you, or you'll have to assist someone else. It's just really talking about collaboration and working with other people. And it says adapt plans to reflect changing priorities and deadlines. So your to-do list, we want you to, so for example, you might have A, B, C, D. You have your list of things to do. You might have to move D upwards because suddenly it has to be done in time. You might have to move B to later on or to tomorrow. Just so some evidence of just this shift or this movement is what is required here. With some kind of maybe approval with your, even if you're immediate manager, or just to show that you're sort of prioritizing. And this is the next one, producing quality and accurate information. Again, once you've done the skill of analysis at this level, we can argue that, you've provided information. If you remember, you had the raw data that you got information from, and you put it together to get some information that was understood and sufficient. So we can reference that to this particular skill. Now, again, because I've made this video for just both of you, Wesley and Lakmish, because you are working within audit to a certain extent. You're working within an audit process, and I know you're doing a lot of field work right now, but I think at least within your field work, you must at least you just need to be aware of what it is that you're doing. So you are, if you like, carrying out inquiries within some sort of verification stage of the audit. So you just need to be able to know at what stage of the audit are we at, if you like, and that's kind of the understanding that I want you to have at level 1. So you don't need to know any major standards. If you did, that would be amazing. If you were any particular standards, when I say standards, official standards, or I was going to say IASs, but again, if you haven't come across these just yet, that's fine. But the key point is just having a good technical understanding, at least, of where you are during the audit. Again, this talks about an understanding of the regulatory requirements. At level 1, the fact that you understand that you have to be regulated by an accounting body, or even by your your work employers is enough, if you like. But the key point is that when we now move on to a level 2 example, we will be looking at further regulation that might be required before you go on and deal with any of your clients. So it might be DBSs, because you're going into schools, and I don't know, we can discuss that later on. But at level 1, you're understanding that being a member is regulation. So you just need to be able to sort of say that you recognize or that you appreciate that being a member of the AT is a first level regulatory requirement to do your role. So this is about teamwork and collaboration, sharing your knowledge. So any team meeting where you can record and show that you have done some work and you can share with your colleagues is fine. This says use a team structure to meet performance objectives. So pretty much make a list of the team members as best as you can and outline the roles, or as best as you can outline the roles of the members of that team. So just giving evidence that you are part of a team that is carrying out a job. And again, audit is pretty good because when you're putting an audit together, you have people who are responsible for different parts of the audit. So you are part of a team. So just having that planning document is sufficient. Okay. And again, show you that you value the contribution of other team members. Again, evidence of an email or team minutes where you have actively acknowledged the contribution from team members is enough. Now this is coming back to systems. Again, at level 1, we're just trying to show that you understand systems. So we're really saying that you're aware that as you're doing your work, you might think This could be done faster if we had it on some sort of software, on database, or in Excel, or whatever it is. We could communicate faster with our clients by the use of Twitter, WhatsApp, or Facebook group, things that might not be currently in existence within the organization that you might think might be a good idea. So it's really about just suggesting a small improvement. It could be in a process. It could be about maybe meeting at a different, using IT to arrange meetings. I really don't know. I mean, if the thing is, you just need to come up with one nice sort of simple basic example. Again, you are new, so you can't see the full picture just yet, but just by at least asking how you have arrived at the sample size as in the group of people you're choosing, and why you've chosen those people, and documenting why would be sufficient. And over time, as you get a better understanding, you can then, I should put audit methodologies actually as well here for you. You can start getting a better understanding of how your organization approaches carrying out its audits. And then it says improve effectiveness. Again, it's about getting material. It might simply be about how do we go paperless, or how do we bring IT systems to speak to each other better. So again, it's about getting material on paper onto the computer, or it might be trying to enable everyone to have access from wherever they are through secure access. So really, it's about just looking for simple examples at that. Okay, great. So I've taken 60 minutes of your time. Probably I just need another 2 minutes. So these are all the skills I've covered. What I want you to do is to I'm just going to go back to the behaviors. I'm not going to give examples on the behaviors, because what I want us to do is for you to look at the behaviors yourselves. So adaptability. I mean, I've given you some ideas for skills. So that this is very much a two-way process. I want you to look at adaptability and look at the questions they're asking there, and then to come up with some level 1, what you would consider basic level 1 examples of how you would sort of show this within your organization, within the work that you are doing. And then when we arrange to meet, if you like to catch up again online, we can discuss some of your ideas, and then we can share again and see how we can grow this. So fundamentally, again, what we're trying to do here is to, if you like, almost have 5. I'm just going to use this last page to my writing on. Or let me create, you know what, let me just create one more new page. New slide. Let me just use this new slide to write. So what we're really ultimately trying to do here is, if you like, to create, we want to show growth. And again, a level 1 is sort of saying, okay, I've just started, and these are the types of questions I'll be able to do at this level. At level 2, we want to be able to ask slightly higher level questions, satisfying all those skills and behaviors. Same at level 3. So we're saying that by the time, who knows, you might push yours up to a level 8, where you're asking some, by the end of your apprenticeship in the next 24 months, you're putting together some very, very interesting data together, and carrying out some major leadership, leading massive teams. Who knows? But the key point is, let's sort of grow along every single one of these skills over the next 18 months. Okay, great stuff. So I'm going to send you this video now, and I'm going to send you the skills sheet as well for you to print off. The last thing I want to take you to is, I want you to go as well onto the internet and register with Dropbox. So I want you to open up a Dropbox. It's simple. Pretty much go www.dropbox and open up an account. And just in that account, follow up there, just open some new folders that you're going to be able to store this information in. I'll just show you a quick example of what I've done, so that you see what I'm trying to do. It's quite easy to do once you get in, and once you start using it. I'm just going to Files, show you what I've done so far. So these are my files. Loading a bit slow. I put AT level 4 evidence-based material. You can see here I have all your different names on there. So for example, let's go to LACMISH, and I'm going to go here. Oops, it's empty. Right. Let's go. I think I haven't put yours through. Let's go to Alice, for example. So you can see I've created 2 folders, one behavior, one on skills. On skills, we break that up. We can see all the different skills that we're talking about. And if you look in skills, the idea is that I've put the 5 levels of growth, and in growth level 1, we'll have that template that I've just been talking about, and the examples and the evidences in there, if you like, and then we'll pretty much have one in every single level, and then we'll be able to put all this together for our endpoint assessment for our assessors at the end of the period. Okay, great stuff. That was 20 minutes, pretty long. All right, I'll get off the internet now, and I'll be in touch via email as to what the future plans are for us to meet again. All right, thank you. Take care, both of you. Bye-bye. It's Owen.